Boca Raton Bowl, the roofclaim.com Boca Raton Bowl. I think they
I miss
sponsored
Cherry
this
Bundy.
last year.
I miss
Yeah,
Cherry
I
Bundy.
miss Cherry Bundy as well. I think the roof claim. I think this probably would be for like Storm, so it makes sense it's in Florida. This game will be played Thursday, December 21st, 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN between South Florida and Syracuse. Syracuse is a 2.5 to 3 point favorite here, over under down to 56.5. It's worth noting that South Florida is fast. They play fast. Syracuse used to be fast, but they've played slow the past 2 seasons. The big question here is, well, first I should mention the coaching changes. Dino Babers was fired. You'll have Campanelli that will serve as the interim head coach. Syracuse has a couple defenders in the transfer portal. They're starting edge Leon Lowry. He'll be out. A couple guys in the secondary, but they haven't played in a few weeks. The biggest news here is Garrett Schrader. He had surgery, will not play in the bowl game. Syracuse's backup quarterback, Carlos Del Rio Wilson, also won't play in the bowl game. So that leaves a major question mark when you break this game down, because you could see on the depth chart, redshirt freshman Braden Davis, who only played 50 snaps or so this year, he's listed as the starter. However, there's a chance that they could go with Dan Villari, their tight end, who just runs wildcat and throws like 1-yard passes. Because anytime they used him, like they, in the wildcat package, sometimes for whole games, he was never listed as the starter at quarterback. It's also that the USF defense is much better against the run. So whoever starts at quarterback here and how Syracuse decides to play this, I think goes a long way in determining how this plays out. I think USF will care, so getting to 6 wins is important for them. They definitely will be motivated playing in Florida. Syracuse, with the coaching changes, a little more questionable. What do you see here between USF and Syracuse?
Garrett Schrader sitting out of this bowl means that Syracuse's entire offense is now based around LeQuint Allen, and we have to find a way to get him the ball. The problem is almost all of the stats that Syracuse has put up this season from an offensive rush perspective, most of it all came off of Garrett Schrader's legs. But LeQuint Allen over 3 yards after contact. Him and Schrader had created 80 missed tackles, so they were a huge duo in the zone read option. And what were you going to do at quarterback anyway? I mean, Carlos Del Rio, 1 big time throw, 5 turnover worthy plays, just horrible passing numbers, horrible. So I think it makes sense that Dan Villari is going to come in here, run a little wildcat, run a little read. I think, but you are attacking the best part of the South Florida defense. And, with USF on the offensive side, which this number, it's quite interesting. You watch the market, right? We get an announcement that Garrett Schrader's out. We go down as far as 1.5 in some shops, rips right back up to 3. There's a couple 3.5s out there right now. So we're living in a world where Garrett Schrader meant nothing to the spread whatsoever. I think that's a strong buy signal, I would think, on Syracuse. But the best part of the Syracuse D was coverage, top 20 per PFF. So when you look at quarterback Byron Brown for South Florida, he listed 23 touchdowns and 11 interceptions, but that's not really what's been going on with him. 21 big time throws, 25 turnover worthy plays. Syracuse runs a 3-3-5 defense. They implement 40% man coverage or quarters or cover 1 when they do go zone. And Brown was average against man coverage, but he was terrible against cover 1. So I expect there to be plenty of turnovers here from South Florida side too. It's not like, hey, Garrett Schrader's out, South Florida is going to win this game. And Brown gets in trouble with pressure. He has triple the turnover worthy plays with a crowded pocket. And you have to ask if, edge Leon Lowry, he had 16 pressures all season and 30 tackles. He wasn't that big of a piece of the collective of pressures that Syracuse can put on a quarterback. Problem is Syracuse is 124th in pass rush. They lost their edge in the portal, Leon Lowry. So I'm not sure if they're going to be able to get to Brown. Total opened up 57.5. It blew through a key of 59. It finally touched resistance at 62. I would think
there could be some wind too, is something to note.
And with Dan Villari running quarterback, running wildcat and zone read, it's a complete undergame. That number sunk down. I see 57.5, 56.5 out there. That's exactly where I would put the game if Garrett Schrader was in here. I was looking at an under already on this one. So if we get confirmation that Dan Villari is going to be running quarterback and they're going to run all zone read, they're going to have success doing that. It's kind of a stalemate here, right? And then Byron Brown is, I mean, their own worst enemy for South Florida on defense. So I think an under is a play here, especially if they're going to go all zone read here in the wake of Garrett Schrader not playing.